Thank you very much for staying with us on Daily Politics. And just like I said earlier, we're now on to the factional president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, Comrade Abubakar Atiku. Comrade, thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Right. Nigerians will find it a bit difficult to understand why you are still laying claims, for instance, to the presidency of the NANS. At some point, they saw you, saying that you close ranks, with the other faction led by Ladoja, in the interest of the union and so on. I understand you held a joint press conference here in Abuja. What changed? Why are you still holding on to this position?
I think I need to make it very clear for us to understand something. Right. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, is usually zoned, constitutionally zoned. You have zones A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now it is the turn of the North Central, the institutions and those from the North Central. I am from Kogi State and I'm schooling at Prince Abubakar University, Kogi State. Ladoja is from Oyo State. He contested the position of NANS president with the current SSA to the President of Student and Youth Affairs, Sunday Ashefo. He was defeated. But because this government of President Tinubu is a government that believes that you have to be a Yoruba person before you can occupy any sensitive position.
Comrade
and it is not by my design that I am not Yoruba.
Most of these issues we are raising
are because I am not Yoruba.
What I want to clarify.
Can you hear me?
What I want to clarify is your insisting on this leadership, because you were said to be, at a conference, a joint conference with the Ladoja group, where you agreed to collapse your leadership or your structure into that of Ladoja, and you said it was in the interest of Nigerians, and Nigerian students. What happened now? They're still coming back to say that you're still the president of NANS.
What happened then was that I was abducted on the 15th of April. The abduction was done by the thug you are calling NANS president, Ladoja, Yusuf Alimi, known as Desti Malubi, Adeyeye, known as Aluta Pilot. They connived with the managing director of NTA and abducted me, forced me to make involuntary statement at the NTA headquarters in Abuja. And for that reason, I instituted a case against them, including the NTA managing director at the Federal High Court for abduction and forcing me to make involuntary statement. There was never a time I agreed to work with Ladoja. I am not a thug and I'm not a cultist. So there's no way I will work with thugs and cultists. Let me tell you, I have to make this very clear. I have even passed the stage of becoming the NANS president. Stakeholders of NANS met with me, pleaded with me, and said that according to them, Atiku, you are the only person we know that will be able to face these guys, that will not be afraid and that will not collect money, that will be able to face them and restore dignity into this organization and fight the cultists and thugs. So we need you to help us to be able to reorganize the National Association of Nigerian Students, which has been bastardized by the current SSA to the President of Student and Youth Affairs, Sunday Ashefon, when he was NANS president, and now there is SSA to the president. And when Usman Barambu took over from him, he tried his best, but the time was not enough. Pedro Obi took over from Usman Barambu. He tried his best. It was not enough. So they asked me to come. They pleaded with me, the stakeholders pleaded with me to see that, yes, I finalize the removal and the total elimination of thugs and cultists from NANS. I agreed. And that is the reason why I'm facing all of these challenges today. But the stakeholders and the leaders are with me. There was never a time I agreed. I can't work with talks and cultives. I am not one of them.
You also
So
made
what they did
quite a number of
to
allegations,
confirm that to you,
including one claiming that you were invited, or rather you were taken to Lagos, where you were offered 100 million naira to denounce the presidency of NANS. And then thereafter, you were also seen in a video which you posted yourself on Facebook or so, saying that you are apologizing for, making those statements that they were not true, and all of that. Why is this inconsistencies in your submissions? Were you forced to say it in the first place? And why are you contradicting yourself, some will say?
Mr. Shafi'u, there are things I will not accept. Ordinarily, I see you as an elder brother who is very honorable. Ordinarily, this statement I would have sued you, because you cannot bring any video where I apologized. There is no single video. The video that went viral, I made my position very clear. And there's no single video where I apologize to anybody. Let me tell you, I do not take alcohol. And I do not make statements just like that, only to go back and apologize. It was because I refused to apologize. I was detained for about 2 months. I prefer to stay in underground detention than to apologize. I'm a man. I cannot be conquered by people who think that because they have the privilege of being close to the president or the government today, they can conquer Atiku. I cannot be conquered by anybody. I will rather die. I stated this in the video that went viral. I will rather die than to be conquered. I will rather die. I'm making the point again. I never apologize to anybody, and I challenge you to provide a video where I apologize. I challenge you to provide any video where I apologize.
Right. Okay. Now Nigerians would like to know the current issues at stake. Now that you are back, I think you are released on bail or so. What is the status of your presidency of NANS, and how accepted are you within the folds of the Nigerian students and, of course, the leadership structure?
It stands today as the national president of NANS, control over 30 million youths, including that is the students and youths. And at the right time, we will make our position known. What I want to state very categorical here is this. By 2027, we will make Nigerians to know who is the true NANS president. But before then, you will see what we will do. We would endorse a presidential candidate that anybody who we endorse is going to be the next president come 2027. And that is how I will show my capacity, and that is how I will display to Nigerians that I am accepted by the youths across the country. So it is not by somebody making noise that is NANS president. How many people do you control? How many people listen to you? That is what we are talking about.
That you are being influenced by certain political figures, in order to influence the 2027 elections. Because if you said that this is what you are waiting for, some will say you are politicizing the union.
No, it's not politicizing the union. We cannot allow Nigerians to suffer. We have to provide leadership, and that was the reason why we were elected. We have not politicized it, and we don't take any position alone. We usually have Senate meetings, and during the Senate meeting, we discuss all of these issues and take a position. I am only their leader. I can influence them, but certainly it has to be a collective decision, and the collective decision will be made known to Nigerians as at the right time. What I am saying is that by the time we make our presidential candidate known, you will realize that that is going to be the president come 2027. It could be anybody. We are still talking. We could still consider President Tinubu if he changes his ways of intimidation, because he seems, as it is today, he is worse than the late General Sani Abacha. You do not have voice in this government. Whatever they try to suppress There are certain voices, which is not good in a democracy.
Right. Okay, thank you very much. We have to leave it at this point because we are running out of time. Thank you very much, Comrade Abubakar Atiku, for talking to us. Abubakar Atiku is the factional president of the Nigerian National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS.
The national president of NANS and not the factional president. But let me use this few seconds or minutes to thank the management and staff of Trust TV. You have been very wonderful. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you for this opportunity provided for me.
Right, okay. And viewers, that's a wrap on today's edition of Daily Politics. Do join us tomorrow. We'll be back with another interesting topic and personalities. Until then, I'm Shafi'u Suleiman, thanking you for being a part of the conversation.
This is serious.